very overwhelming. So I'm here to tell you it is a normal feeling to feel um, overwhelmed when it comes to teaching. It is normal to feel like you feel like you have no help. You're on an island by yourself. It is normal to feel like you just don't know what to do. It's normal to feel like literally you don't have help. If you're a parent, if you're a teacher, I'm telling you guys that is normal. What's also normal, it is normal to just feel overwhelmed. Like I know I did a post on YouTube and I was just like, how do you guys feel? Everybody was like overwhelmed. And I've been there, I remember. So that's why today I wanted to get on here and talk about how I personally made teaching easier, both as a teacher and as a parent, give you 5 really helpful tips for making teaching easier. So get out your notepad, get out your pencils. I'm wanting you guys to go ahead and implement these things immediately because I am breaking it all down for you. But before I do that, I just really want you to know that it's okay. And as we go into today's stream, just know it's okay. Like, I want you to know it's okay. Don't ever feel like the world is ending if you can't get to something. I know one of the biggest fears I had before I really kind of learned how to master this whole thing was I felt like if I couldn't do something or I couldn't teach something, it was like the end of the world. Complete end of the world was happening. I thought I was the only one that could do it. Like, have you guys ever felt that? Let me know. Do you feel like you're the only one that can teach something or you're the only one that can do something? Um, Especially when I was a teacher, because I didn't really like to take off because I felt like, oh, if I'm not here, then my kids aren't going to learn. And then where they're going to be in 10, 20 years if I am not here today. But after a decade of experience, I'm here to tell you that your health and you matter. Oh, cool. You like the haircut? Yeah. So, hey, yes, yes. I love I just got it cut like 2 weeks ago. Sorry, it was a comment about my hair, but yes, I did shave off the sides and I'm actually getting it cut again today. So, so let's get into our tips. So I did break today's content down into two very, 5 very effective tips. So let's get started. I first want to just go over where I was. This is an actual picture of my 4th year teaching. So second year in the Title I school. So my first few years were in preschool. So I did teach not preschool but pre-K. I did teach pre-K because when I was doing my master's, I taught pre-K and it just kind of was like a perfect transition. But I did pre-K and it was amazing. I loved the kids. I had a very good co-teacher when I was going through my master's program. So when I got my own classroom, I just kind of duplicated everything that she did. Like, she had a very good classroom management system set up. She had very good policies, routines, and stuff in place. So I just kind of continued what she did, even when I was on my own. Like, it was like, just stick to what works. And it was very effective. It was very effective. And I was able to kind of make it my own. If you don't know my teaching journey, I'm just going to give you a brief recap. So I literally was doing pre-K, but I've always dreamed about being in a particular county because, I mean, to be honest, it was close to the city where I lived, like metro area, and the pay was amazing. So that's kind of like why I wanted to go into that county. And so, like, I always dreamed of being in that county. I had applied, didn't get the job. Cool, whatever. It wasn't my time. Like, God needed me to do that pre-K experience. And I loved it. I loved teaching pre-K. So fast forward, so I get a phone call on Friday from one of my sorors in my sorority, and she was like, "Hey, I'm at this game and they're looking for a 5th grade teacher." And I was like, "Oh, okay, great." and she told me what county it was. I was like, ah, I want that county. So she immediately makes her phone call. She was like, okay, she's interested. She was like, can you do an interview on Tuesday? And I was like, okay, all right. So I did the interview on Tuesday. Interview went great. I had to do a mock lesson. Like, so I did a model fifth grade lesson. And mind you, I'm teaching pre-K. So I did the lesson. She actually helped me create the lesson, did the lesson, great. Didn't hear from them from Tuesday. She was like, she was still going to interview on a Friday. So now it's been exactly 1 week since the game. I get the phone call. They were like, we're wanting to hire you. It's a Title I school. You'll be teaching fifth grade and you start on Monday. And I was like, wait, what? I'm going from pre-K to fifth grade and I start on Monday. It is now nap time. My kids are sleeping. And I have to break the news to my director that I'm about to just completely switch, that I'm about to quit like today. My kids, I was just, it was crazy. So I like run to my director. I tell her I'm about to go to fifth grade, but it was like I really wanted to get in this county, and this was my opportunity to do so. He said, "Oh yes, thank you so much for your awesome tips. I taught pre-K for most of my teaching experience. Woo, another pre-K teacher. You did the switch to second grade. Yes. So you're gonna feel the story. So yes. So going from pre-K, because I feel like pre-K already had this like routines and stuff and set in place. I jumped to fifth grade. Y'all, this is an actual picture of me doing fifth grade, completely overwhelmed. And this was my second year in pre K, I mean, in fifth grade. It was literally like I started all over again. I had no guide, had no idea what I was doing. Wasn't a Title I school. It was just like I was just thrown in there. And I was like, no, I don't know what's going on. So it was very rough. And that feeling of overwhelm, that feeling of everything was on you. I felt like I didn't have any support. I felt like I literally had to figure things out on my own. So when I tell you guys, I get it. So from my experience to yours, I was really thinking about, okay, when you guys said you're overwhelmed, what are the things that I did? Because after a while, I had it. I became the person that a lot of the veteran teachers were coming to, like very quickly. Like by my second, third year teaching, my first year teaching, I was actually leading professional developments at my school when I was teaching fifth grade, and then it just kind of transitioned. So you see why I moved to administration fairly quickly. So I wanted to like really break down my top 5 tips that have helped me both as a parent and as a teacher, because I feel like I went through this all over again when I became a parent. So yes, fifth grade is very, very challenging. I feel like if you can be a fifth grade teacher, you can do anything. You can do anything. All right. So tip number 1 is connect with others. So the first thing I did was really connect with other like-minded teachers. Okay, so I made friends All right, you guys, please let me know in the comments if I'm back on. I am so sorry. Internet just went kaboom. Y'all, they're doing construction. I don't know if they cut the internet cord or what, but let me know in the comments if you guys are able to see me. We were just about to go over our first tip. Um, Let me know in the comments who's sharing all of your value. Yay! I'm glad you're able to find this information valuable. Yes, that's what I'm trying to get to, the balancing home and work life. I do not have a blog. I'm actually about to start blogging. So what I have are the YouTube videos, and so I do a video and a live every week. And also I do have complete playlists on my YouTube channel, but I do have a website where I have a lot of digital products online. So definitely check out everythingaja.com, and you will see all of my digital products. And I actually have a freebie that I'm going to discuss with one of our tips. I am just making sure that you guys can hear me right now. Can you hear me? Please just give me a thumbs up, because you guys, that was just crazy losing the internet. Oh my goodness. All right, so we are back going over my top 5 tips of how to make teaching easier. Okay, so that's what we are here to discuss today, how I made teaching easier as both a parent and a teacher. Great, you can hear me. Yay! Okay, we're back on. I'm sorry. Oh, the internet technology. Thanks for letting me know. All right, so tip number 1 was connect with others. So as a teacher, I started connecting with other first year teachers. And this was very helpful because, like I stated at the very, very beginning, when you feel, it's normal to feel overwhelmed, and a part of that overwhelming feeling is feeling like you're by yourself and you're on an island by yourself. So definitely connect with others. If you're a parent, you have to connect with other parents that have similar values. One way to do this is through Facebook groups. I am a part of a lot of Facebook groups that have kids, like toddler age kids, and then you get a lot of tips from that. I would suggest try to find a Facebook group that has people like other moms in your area. So I did find one group, and they do like these weekly meetups, like in Atlanta where I live. And so that was really cool. I did one of them, but I probably should have did more. But definitely find other like-minded parents or like-minded teachers, because then you actually get new ideas from them. Not only do you get new ideas, but you can also use them as a support system. It's just like right now, I'm in the middle of an entrepreneur journey, and it is very lonely at times. And so one thing I do is I have networked and made friends with other entrepreneurs, so that I feel like I'm not by myself. I have others. Have you guys ever heard that iron sharpens iron? That's the same way when it comes to education. Iron does sharpen iron. So definitely want to connect with other people that are doing the same thing as you, so that you guys can both kind of benefit from each other. All right, tip number 2 that I have for y'all: borrow from veteran teachers or parents. You guys, we don't need to recreate the wheel. You guys, we don't. I know that was one of the mistakes I used to make, and I would try to like always recreate the wheel, but borrow. When I was first started out teaching, and even when I first started out as a parent, because I mean, just because I've been a teacher for over a decade, when I became a parent, it was a whole new ball game. I mean, everything was new. I was like, I don't know how to teach letters, because even when I did pre-K, I mean, I did letters, but I was really heavy on phonics. So I did a lot of phonemic awareness and sounds. My babies are going to learn how to read. So, but yes, definitely reach out to other veteran teachers. Like, a lot of them have things that they're not using. They have things that they're just sitting in their closet or sitting in their homes that they are willing to give you. And it actually not only saves you coins because you don't have to buy it, but it also saves you the trouble because they can be like, here's all of this. I know I started off by sharing my story about being the fifth grade teacher, and it was so much. But one thing that got me through was veteran teachers. They literally just was like, here's all the supplies, go ahead, here's all my stuff, go ahead and use it, here's everything. And it was very helpful. So, like, really borrow from those other people. And if there's ever something that you guys really need, let me know. My email is hello@everythingaja.com. And if I have something that y'all know that y'all need, I don't mind mailing it to you. So you can have that. All right, so let's jump into tip number 3. And you guys might be saying, okay, if you guys watched my live last week, you're like, wait, you said don't use this to actually teach, but now you're telling us that it is a tip to make teaching easier. So let me really elaborate when I say this. Tip number 3 is use technology to help supplement. All right, so last week I was letting you guys know don't use technology to teach your entire lessons, but definitely use technology to help supplement. It will make your life so much easier. So after you have taught something or done something, use technology to reteach, supplement whatever you just went over. So if you taught something, then y'all. So I did want to share. I've did this not only in the classroom, but definitely as a mom. It has been my game changer. And a lot of the clients that I work with, I had to show them how to use technology to help supplement versus teach, and it has been a game changer for them as well. So I did want to share some of my go-to places that I go to. So definitely Khan Academy Kids. It is a free app. Khan Academy is amazing, especially if you have younger children. Um, then there's also Khan Academy that does pretty much older children. So you have either Khan Academy Kids or Khan Academy. But it is free, completely free. It is game changing, you guys. I love Khan Academy. Both as a teacher, I use Khan Academy. As a parent, I use Khan Academy Kids. Okay. And then also ABC Mouse. Now, ABC Mouse is paid, it's not free. But as a parent, ABC Mouse has been everything, especially their games. So they have a lot of learning games. My daughter uses them all the time. She definitely uses like the math games, and we do like opposites. They have some games where I can play with her, some games she can play by herself, etc. So that is game changing. Nearpod is like, yeah, Nearpod is my favorite as a teacher. Nearpod has literally upgraded so much since I've been in education. And I was on Nearpod when it wasn't anything, like 10 years ago. And now to see it evolve, especially with the progression of the digital world since we've been in the middle of this pandemic. But Nearpod is your best friend. So if you've taught Nearpod, the great thing about Nearpod is once you have taught Nearpod, all you do is go look up a lesson on that topic and you have it. If you've never used Nearpod, I can drop the link. There I did an entire like 2 videos on Nearpod. I did a full Nearpod tutorial teaching you exactly how to use it. And I also did another Nearpod video where I show you how to make the really fun games in Nearpod, because instead of a quiz, you could just make it a game and it still quizzes kids. So that is another really great resource. Another really good resource I love is iReady. Now, iReady is also paid. I will say that. Nearpod was free, so it kind of was free, pay, free, pay, free. But iReady is a paid app for me. My administrators did buy iReady, so and then eventually our county bought iReady. So I did. I didn't have to pay for iReady out of pocket, but I did have that resource. And then ScoopPad. Now, ScoopPad, I have that last for a reason, but as a teacher, ScoopPad was my best friend and I used it. It's not as really as helpful as some of these other ones have progressed. Google Pad hasn't progressed as much, but as a parent, as a teacher, that is what I used. And then there's another one. I know I have another video on here about a bike. I will also drop that link on here. But you guys, there is a bike that I use. It is a like a Fisher Price bike. My daughter uses it all the time. I don't know how I didn't put this on here, but if you have a child up to 6 or whatever, there is an app like a learning app, and they get to use the bike and they have to like find the letters, spell words, do patterns. I mean, it's very advanced and it kind of grows with them as they go through the challenges. So, definitely those are some of my go-to technology things that like sites that I like to go through. So tip number 3 was use technology to help supplement. So after you've taught, then you could supplement with the use of technology. If y'all have any more that y'all love, let me know down below in the comments. Like, what are some more of your go-to technology places? I mean, I'm a technology guru. I could keep going for days. But I just wanted to give you guys like some of my top, you know, top favorite sites and apps. All right, so if you have been watching my lives, then you know this next tip is a big tip. I waited to save the big tip kind of till the end because this was my game changer. This next tip is literally what changed my entire teaching practice, both as a parent and in the classroom, because I was able to master this tip, and it's also a part of my up and coming program. I actually have an entire workshop coming up November 8th, all about how to simplify teaching. And this next tip is literally the key to doing this. But without further ado, tip number 4: create a bank of go-to activities. That is how I really made my teaching experience easier. I created this banking system of go-to activities so that I wasn't spending the hours and hours and hours that most people do trying to come up with activities and lessons. Especially if you're a parent. I've seen parents really struggle with this. There's so much on the internet, and a lot of the stuff on the internet, quite frankly, isn't good or isn't standard aligned, or are just like people doing stuff that aren't even in education. Like, fortunately, I've had the experience of both being a parent and a teacher and an administrator. So I have literally been on every like end. Um, and I can really kind of attest to like, what's good, what's quality, what's not. What do I recommend for autistic children? I have an autistic daughter in first grade. Okay, for autistic kids, they really kind of need something that's slower and hands-on. Is this for I know you said you teach second grade, so you might not be able to get the bike. Are you asking for an app or a tip, like an app to help an autistic child? Let me know that so that I can answer that question. Um, for apps, I would truthfully, out of the apps that I gave y'all, none of them are like super duper hands on. Khan Academy Kids would probably be the best one that is at the same pace. Like it's at a slower pace. It's very user friendly, very interactive. Uses iReady. Oh yeah, use iReady. Learn more about other programs. Okay, Khan Academy Kids. Khan Academy. Khan Academy Kids would be great, especially if you have a child or children that need that kind of slower flow, but also very interactive. So the reason I really love Khan Academy Kids is because it make sure that a child masters something. That makes sense. They talk very slow, but also very effective. The graphics are great, and it's very easy to use. So it's amazing, and it's free. It's free. The one thing about Khan Academy Kids that I can say is not like you can actually choose what you want them to do. They kind of go through a path But you can choose, like, if there's books, because they have books, like they have a library of books, they have a library of certain activities that you can choose. But for the most part, it is a path that would run. But definitely check out Khan Academy Kids for that student. I feel like it will really be helpful. Um, very, very helpful for you. All right. So, tip number 4 is create a bank of go to activities. So, these are activities that you can really use with different lessons. A bank of activities that you can just like go to, that really work with different standards. And this was my game changing tip that helps with making life easier, both as a parent and as a teacher. Because, like, even now, I'm like, all right, Kendall, let's drop out this game, and she's ready. As a teacher, like my kids, as y'all know, like I'm kind of known for the fun educational games, and that is literally how I am even in the classroom. So I've helped you guys out by giving you 3 of my top favorite activities to use for any lesson. Any lesson. This will help simplify your teaching. It is the game changer for simplifying your teaching. Literally, you guys, this is it. This is it. Um so this free ebook that I created not only gives you 3 really fun activities that you can use with any standard. They have like multiple choice. If you have anything where there's multiple choice, true or false questions, this is your go-to. I'm also giving you a free like icebreaker, especially for if you're in the classroom. It is a school icebreaker. It is free. So I do have the link in the description and in my bio for you to download this free ebook full of activities. But this tip, you guys, of creating that bank of go to activities is the game changer for you guys. iExcel, yes, iExcel is really good. iExcel started getting expensive, so I stopped using it as much. And it seems like it's more assessment based, but it does kind of help with mastery. Um, choose to connect based concept. Yeah, you said isn't as fun as the Khan Academy Kids. Yes, that's kind of where I was going with Leslie. Is iExcel is very effective, especially if you have like math concepts or language arts concepts. That is very like repetition. Um, iExcel is really good for concepts and standards that are like have one right answer. So like math facts, language arts, grammar, things like that. It is not as interactive as Khan Academy Kids. Khan Academy Kids is very interactive. It makes kids like order, sort, I mean, all kinds of stuff. But iExcel is good when it comes to like mastery of skills. Some of the routines I did in the classroom, the flow of my day. Like, okay, I can answer that question. Let me jump to our last tip, then I will jump to that question because that is a great question. Yes, and I'm excited to answer that. All right, so make sure you guys once again do download this. This goes to really how I was able to create the bank of go-to activities. So I'm giving you 3 for free. Also giving you a go-to icebreaker if your kids need a brain break. This is your tool. It's free. Like brain break. Here you go, baby. We're about to do this icebreaker. Oh, you guys just talked main idea, and you have like a worksheet or something, or you just taught addition and you have a worksheet. Don't just sit there and fill out the worksheet. Play one, use that same worksheet you have and make it into a game. So I'm giving you the games, I'm giving you the resources. All you have to do is download it for free. What? All right. Let's jump into tip number 5. Tip number 5 is a mindset shift. So, we're talking all about how I made my teaching experience easier, right? That's what we are breaking down. And you might be saying, okay, a mindset shift. But yes, it is a true mindset shift. So, let me explain. when you're overwhelmed and when you have like all these things that you have to do, Title One school, yes. So especially being in a Title One school, because I pretty much have always been in a Title One school since I've done public schools. Now, when I was on preschool, I'm in pre-K. I was fortunate to be in a attached to a college campus, so we had a lot of funding, because one of the students in the school, her grandfather actually owned this really big electrical company. He gave the school a lot of money. Great, we had resources. Why that baby was in pre-K. We got to go on so many field trips that year. But once I got into the Title One school, I was like, whoa, I was so overwhelmed. There was all this stuff that you have to do, all these initiatives that have to be done. It's like the domino effect that goes into play of making everybody, over you happier, pleased. It's a lot. It's a lot. And there's a mindset shift that has to occur in order to help make your teaching easier. And that is this, you guys, the work will be there tomorrow. It's okay. If you try to do everything, you're gonna end up sick. So the last 2 years ago, 2018. I could share a little bit of me. Felt like I was the only one that could do things, like only one. You guys know I became a curriculum specialist, meaning I was over all kindergarten through fifth grade, everything, math, science, creating classes, differentiation, small groups. I was over it all the data, 850 kids. It was a lot. Very stressful job, very stressful job, very stressful. And what that ended up doing is giving me so much stress. I ended up getting H. pylori. It's a stomach bacteria. It's actually the stomach bacteria that causes ulcers. And they really thought I had ulcers. I was so stressed out, so stressed out. But it taught me this, and this was a lesson that I wish I learned a long time ago. The work will be there tomorrow. If you have to, at some point you have to put yourself first. And so I did this tip that I really want you guys to write down, take with you, do this. Go ahead and give yourself a cutoff time. So, like, especially if you're a teacher, what is your time that you are leaving the building? Give yourself that cutoff time and know whatever doesn't get done will get done tomorrow. I really want y'all to take care of yourselves. I don't want the stress of education to do to others what it has done to me. Um, Especially when it came to my health. Like, I'm still in the process of getting myself back mentally, physically, and emotionally together. But definitely give yourself a cutoff time and then leave. Leave the building and know it's gonna be there tomorrow. If there's a day where you're sick or your child's sick and you can't go into the building, it's okay. So you have to have that mindset shift of knowing like it's okay. I'm one person, but you do have to put yourself first. Looking forward to checking out Khan Academy Kids. Yes, and my website. Yes. Thank you. I'm glad I can help you out. I am so glad that I can help you out. So let's just let me go over the recap of our tips, and I am ready to answer your question. You have give asked me a really good question. So let me just recap before I answer that question. So tip number one was to connect with others, connect with other parents, connect with other teachers that are in the same boat as you. If you're a first year teacher, connect with other first year teachers. If you are a second year teacher or a veteran teacher, connect with other second year teachers or veteran teachers. So connect with others. If you're a parent, use Facebook to find other parents. If you're a homeschool parent, use Facebook to find homeschool parents in your area. I feel like if you can narrow it down to your area, you have like really identified a really good group that can really help you. Oh my goodness. Yes, we do have a lot in common. You taught pre-K. Oh, we're gonna have to really connect. We almost have like we're almost like teaching twins. Our teaching life is like identical. That is crazy. So yes, tip number two was to borrow from veteran teachers or parents. Don't recreate, don't like completely recreate the wheel, but use a wheel that's already been made, make it your own, and allow me to show you how to do this. Um, Tip number three is use technology to help supplement. Don't use technology to help teach, but definitely use technology to help supplement your teaching. I gave you guys some really good tips. I'm glad that you already people are gonna look into Khan Academy Kids. Somebody else said iExcel. I've also used iExcel for both math and language arts. Really for math, it is really good as far as like quiz based. I have so many technology resources. I probably should do another video on it, but definitely these are some of my go-to technology apps. Khan Academy Kids is free. ABC Mouse is paid. Nearpod's free. iReady paid. ScoopPad free. So this list goes like free, paid, free, paid, free, paid. Tip number four, create a bank of go-to activities. Create a bank of activities that you can use over and over and over again with different standards. One way to do that is by downloading my free activity guide. I'm giving you guys 3 activities that you can use for any lesson. I'm also giving you a go-to icebreaker so you have it all right there at your fingertips. I'm showing you how to do this. And also a mindset shift to know you have to put yourself first. So I'm ready to announce my big announcement. Are y'all ready? Drum roll, please. Down below in the comments, you will see a link to sign up for my free workshop. Yay! I'm doing a workshop all about how to simplify teaching, so that you, without the overwhelm and without the hours of planning that come into teaching, I'm really wanting to help you guys really eliminate this overwhelm that you guys feel day in day and day, time in and time out every single day. So make sure you check out my free workshop. It will be November 8th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you sign up. Also sign up even if you can't make it live. That way you can get the replay and you can get the recording, and really get some in-depth tips. Will be not only will I be giving you tips, but I'll also be showing you how to do everything. It is a very intensive hour that you'll be with me, and I'll really be helping you guys like narrow down and simplify teaching. So that is November 8th. Make sure you check it out. The link to sign up is in the description. If you're on Instagram, the link is in the bio. So make sure you go ahead and sign up for the workshop so we can continue to go through this. Previous slide with online resources. Absolutely. Um, so these are the online resources. Yay, excited about the workshop. Yes, I am. I've been preparing to do this with you guys because I really want to help out, and that is really what really kind of drove me to creating this brand, is because I realized that I did have a lot of things that so many people out there didn't have, as far as the knowledge, and the creativity, and I just love helping people. Like I just love helping people. So I really want to help just overwhelm the to help the overwhelm. So really, like, that's the problem that I'm really trying to help y'all solve, is to really eliminate the overwhelm when it comes to teaching. So yay, make sure you sign up. So these were the online resources, and I am ready to answer some of you all's questions. So there was one question in the link about my routines. So you said I wanted to learn. So there's this comment. You wanted to learn some of the routines that I did in the classroom. What was the flow of my day like? Woo! That is such an action-packed question. All right, so I'm very big on routines. Very, very big on routines. It is a must to have some daily routines. So, of course, the first thing you would do is have a schedule, right? So you have a schedule. I always use my morning time for my RTI, which is response to intervention. So my students that I would, especially when I taught fifth grade, like I said, I was in a Title I school. So I had a lot of kids that were reading on a kindergarten level. So I actually did hooked on phonics with them, um, in the mornings. And that was my thing. All the other students did like their morning work while I worked on while I did Hooked on Phonics with them. And what's scarcity? How to keep to? All right. Next question. So give me a second. Just go ahead and drop your questions. We are in Q&A time. So yes, keep the questions going. Right now we're talking about routines. And then one thing I did with my routines is I started doing the same thing every single day at the exact same time. And that is one thing that I'll really kind of share in the workshop is kind of how I did that, because that really is the key to literally simplifying teaching is how you narrow down your routines with your like what you have to teach. So like I really had to figure that out and create routines. But routines really are the kind of key. So you're asking, what are some of them? So one of them, I used to do a fluency packet passage because I had a lot of struggling readers. So fluency practice was one of my non-negotiable routines. We did the same fluency passage every single day at the exact same time. We were ready to roll it out. And it really helped my kids become faster readers. They were more expressive, more fluent in reading. We did the same thing every day. Close reads is another one. If you have no idea what close reads, I know somebody just said they're online teaching. Literally, I have a video of close reading online, like how to do it from start to finish. But that became another non-negotiable. I did the same thing. Number talks, same thing. Every single day, I did number talks at the exact same time. So this was kind of like the flow of my day. Like I was you have to be very structured in order for this to really work. But when I tell you it works and it cuts the overwhelm, and that's one thing that when I release my program, I'm going to be helping you guys really walk you guys through how to do this and how to have the routines and how to have the bank of activities, how to have the um, day by day things that kind of run on autopilot. And that is the system that I learned how to do. And that's what I want to share with as many teachers, as many parents, because I not only did it in the classroom, I took what I did in the classroom, started doing it with my daughter. Now she's reading at 3 years old. I have a video coming out all about that. But like doing that every single day, that is what I wanted to help you guys with. So make sure you check out the workshop on November 8th, all about simplifying teaching. And also stay tuned. Make sure that you do download that freebie of activities and stay tuned so that you can know when the doors open to my new program so we can all talk about how to simplify teaching. Yes. So I hope I answered that question with just kind of those same day-to-day activities. Was literally the routine of my day. We had another question. Yes, thank you for this. Woo! I'm glad you're able to um get some help. Y'all, this is really crazy that we have so much in common. So I don't know if you guys been seeing the comments, but we both went from pre-K to a Title I school like overnight. We both did pre-K on a college campus. Um, I think you said you did second grade. I went from pre-K to fifth grade, big jump. But I did used to teach when I worked at the college campus and did pre-K. I did teach eighth grade at the same time, and that because I only had to do 3 blocks of eighth grade, and I did math. So I did all day pre-K, and then once we got out of dismissal at like 2:30, then I would drive to the junior high school and teach eighth grade. I did 3 blocks of EIP eighth grade math, and I then did extracurricular step class. So it was a lot. Um, I think we went over that thing. Yay! I love this. Yes, if you're not signed up, make sure you sign up for the workshop November 8th, all about how to simplify teaching. Woo, 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 woo. All right, so let's talk about this comment. Just joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, please go watch the replay. We have been we were I was dropping some gems, not like it just kind of happened. So make sure you do watch the replay. All right, how to keep students engaged when teaching online. That is huge. And if you don't know, I do have a video on my page. I'm like, oh, I have a video for that. I did do a video all about how to do this, where I actually kind of show you different ways. One way is to really, really, really take advantage of games. Okay, learning games online. So, where you're like, wait, what? But games like literally this last year, I even as an administrator, I've made it my mission to really jump back in because there was a shortage, and with kids online, it is really difficult to reach them, and because it's not the same as them being face to face. But I actually like it even more because I feel like you have more kind of at your fingertips when you're online, but it's also kind of hard for some kids. So I feel like it's 50-50. But I taught fifth graders and fourth graders. I did an ESOL group of ELA, and I did a math group of I had two different math groups. I had taught fifth and fourth grade this whole year of while we were in the pandemic. So one way I kept them engaged is through games. And I know you're like, wait, I can't just sit playing games every day. But what I'm saying is teach, whatever it is that you're teaching, and then have an online game to accompany it. So I did things like Jeopardy. So there's jeopardylabs.com. Please write that down. Jeopardylabs.com. They have pretty much games on everything, especially when it comes to math. So pretty much anything that I was teaching, whether I was teaching how to add fractions, how to add fractions with like denominators, fractions with unlike denominators, I would teach it, and I would teach it in Nearpod. I know we talked about online resources. Nearpod.com was one of my go-tos. If you missed it, these were some of the easy go-to technology sites and apps that you can use both in the classroom and at home. But definitely, I would teach the lesson on Nearpod while it was online, and use the whiteboard feature to like demonstrate it. Um, the other thing I would really do, we use Microsoft Teams, but in Microsoft Teams, all the kids have access to the same whiteboard, so they can like literally use, you can like kind of watch them solve the problems. You can also do this in Nearpod. So, like, if there's a question, you could see the kids fill it out. Once I felt like I went through that lesson, okay, they got the mini lesson, they understood, then I would accompany it with the Jeopardy Labs game or just a game. Another game that I did that I actually have in that freebie, you guys, is Four Corners. They can play Four Corners online very easily. The kids absolutely love Four Corners because you can pretty much use it whenever you're teaching anything. All you need is A, B, C, D. The kids will just write on a sticky note. If they don't have the sheet of paper, it's A, B, C, and D, and they're just holding up sticky notes. Really cool. They love it. They love Jeopardy because they're able to do like different groups. But that's how I got my kids very engaged online, especially in the middle of online teaching. They're able to um get excited, but they know that they have to go through the lesson first. So once you start making that a practice to do the lesson, and then here's the game. If they know that there's always going to be something fun at the end of the lesson, then they are completely engaged. So just I encourage you to make that your practice, so that your kids start looking forward to it. All right. You can do it. Good luck. You can do this. You can do this. Just make it your practice. Mini lesson, fun game. Mini lesson, fun game. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Says I'm also teaching adults, not children, just finding online game. Just just find teaching online a whole new game. Yes. Adults are just like kids. Like, can we talk about that for a second? Adults are just like kids. They need interaction too. So definitely the same tips I'm giving kids, you can definitely use for adults. And that you can even like the really cool thing is I would find games that have already been made, so that you're not having to recreate the wheel. There's also bingo. There's myfreebingocards.com as well. I know when I've done like professional developments with teachers, I'll bring out that game to make sure they were really paying attention. Adults are just like kids, y'all. We need brain breaks. We want to be engaged too. We need something fun to do. So definitely same tips apply. Have an interview, teaching a workshop. Woo woo, yes, check out the channel. You welcome, you welcome. All right, so another question on resources. Do I recommend Hooked on Phonics or a curriculum program like Foundations? That's more mainly for like preschool age kid, pre-K and preschool. If you guys have never heard of that one, for tier 3 literacy instruction. Woo, this is a good one. All right, so let me just say, I told you what I did. I did Hooked on Phonics for my tier 3, and it worked. And I was doing teaching fifth graders. Now, I have not personally taught foundations. I can say that, but I do know what it is. The one thing about foundations, it does incorporate a lot of songs and Hmm. From what I've seen, it seems very like they have like simple lessons, if that makes sense. Very simple, straight to the point. For me personally, from what I've seen with foundations, I mean it's a good curriculum program, but when you think about tier 3 instruction, you're dealing with kids that did not get it when you taught it whole group. You're dealing with kids that didn't get it when you started the tier 2 intervention, meaning that you're kind of doing something in addition to what the other kids are getting. And now they're in tier 3, so they're at the point where they need something very explicit, very hands-on. One, we're talking mainly one-to-one, and for that, Hooked on Phonics would be my recommendation from personal experience. I feel like foundations, from what I've seen, like I said, I haven't taught it personally, just from what I've seen with the program, is really good for like tier 1, tier 2. But Hooked on Phonics, the reason I really love Hooked on Phonics is because it really hones in on the science of reading. And if you don't know what that is, I do have a whole video breaking down science of reading, but it's like more like the phonics approach to reading is very systematic, and believes that every child must explicitly be taught certain skills and certain sounds with letters, etc. So I said all that to say, when you're dealing with tier 3 students, they really need that explicit, hands-on, one-on-one, like this is the sound we're working on, we're going to keep doing it till we master it. And Hooked on Phonics, I have seen it work for, I mean, millions of kids, not just me as a teacher, but also me as a sister. My brother had to get on Hooked on Phonics, and my mom really kind of put him on Hooked on Phonics really because she didn't want him to be like me, because I learned really when sight words were kind of rolling out. So I learned the memorization strategy, and y'all, it wasn't the best for me. I learned from memorizing words, not sounding out words. And when my mom had my brother, she immediately put him on Hooked on Phonics early so that he didn't have the gaps like me. So that's why that was my first like kind of praise report seeing Hooked on Phonics work, because I was watching him. I was like, oh, that's how that happens. Oh, that's how that happens. Um, yes, yes, Hooked on Phonics is great. So if you can get Hooked on Phonics, it has very oh, do I have my cards with me? Right now I'm actually blending Orton Gillingham with Hooked on Phonics for my 3-year-old. And so like I can show you, I don't have the cards with, I think the cards are downstairs. Man, I took them downstairs. But so this is like an Orton Gillingham card. Let me hide this real quick. So this is like an Orton Gillingham card, but on the Hooked on Phonics card, it has like the C. Then it has the C where it has like the ear because you say the sound, and then it has like cat. So one of the ways I just kind of give you a tip that I've been like really kind of getting her to read is I use the Hooked on Phonics cards for sound recognition. So we'll go C, cat, flip the page. And I don't really necessarily go in order, but turtle, apple. All right. And so then when I transition her, so that's like kind of Hooked on Phonics. I also kind of mix Orton Gillingham. So here's our board. So this is Orton Gillingham. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Orton Gillingham. Yes, you said I love Orton Gillingham. Yeah. Oh, Y'all, all the cards just fell. Sorry, but if you've never seen Orton Gillingham or heard of Orton Gillingham is amazing. It is another phonics based program. It is more of a way of teaching phonics, right? And so I'll go from Hooked on Phonics and then mix that with Orton Gillingham. What I've realized is it has been a lot easier for her to do the blending with the blending board because we have been doing the sounds with the Hooked on Phonics. The really cool thing about Hooked on Phonics now is they have the apps. It has its own scope and sequence. Now, the scope and sequence on Hooked on Phonics does vary a little bit for Orton Gillingham, very similar, but Orton Gillingham has a completely different scope and sequence. For example, Orton Gillingham starts with the letter C because you have to remember Orton Gillingham is phonics based, but is also really rooted in writing. So they kind of start their curriculum with what is easier to write first versus like Hooked on Phonics and a lot of the other curriculums that I've seen, like with Frog Street, Foundations. A lot of those other curriculums go based on sound and what's easier to phonetically hear and say first. So a lot of those curriculums start with the letter M because is one of the first sounds that kids are able to make out. So it's easier for them to kind of master those sounds. So just kind of know that if you do both, like kind of I blended both, but I also understand the difference. So although I built the Hooked on Phonics, I've been following the Orton Gillingham scope and sequence of it, but just kind of know the difference. But as tier 3, I would see if your school can get Hooked on Phonics. And even if they can't, even if you just as a teacher were able to get the kit like online, like for me, I have the kit. I haven't necessarily paid for it for my daughter quite yet. She's ready now. She wasn't ready before. So I did the kit and I've probably could have did it like about 2 months ago, went ahead and bought the program. One of my clients bought the program. Her daughter just started skyrocketing. And she was wondering about the scope and sequence, the order of the curriculum. And I was like, follow them. They know what they're doing because Orton Gillingham goes based on sound. But both are really great phonics programs. Um, just know what works best for you. Orton Gillingham is like more tier 1, tier 2. Can't work for everything, but if you just want like an explicit program, the one thing I really liked about the Hook on Finance program is it does come with the technology piece and the books. So when you buy the program, they mail you the books, they mail you the cards, they mail you all of that as a kit, and then you get access to the online portal. So you get both with Hooked on Phonics versus Orton Gillingham more teaches, like it equips you to be able to teach, with their stuff. So cool beans. Woo woo. Thanks. I'm glad I can help you guys. I'm glad I can help you guys. I think that was that our final question. Boop, 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 boop. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. So if you have any last questions, go ahead and drop them and I'll answer. If not, you guys have two things to do. Hopefully, I've already done it. The first thing that I really need y'all to do is go ahead and download the free activities that you can use for any lesson. This will really help you just start creating your bank of activities. It'll start helping you just be able to really have some activities that you can do with any standard, whether it be true or false, multiple choice, etc. They're quick and easy activities. Also give you a free icebreaker. If you need a second, there you have it. I'm giving it to you. And also make sure you check the link in the description so that I can check you guys out November 8th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I did it at 7, so even if you're like Pacific time, that's right after work. That'd be 4 p.m. So that is a Monday, November 8th. Come sit with me. It's going to be very interactive workshop. I do have some prizes, a few little giveaways in there, a special announcement about my program. Doors will open for pre-sale. But also the main thing I want to do is I want to show you guys tips that you can immediately implement like that week. Like you can implement it right then, how to simplify your teaching so that you can overcome the overwhelm and also cut all of this lesson planning and confusion in half. That's my goal, is to help you guys with that. So I will see you guys November 8th. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my lives last week. I went over some groundbreaking mistakes and lessons that I've learned as a parent and teacher. And a lot of those lessons and mistakes you guys might be making. So don't make the same mistakes. Learn from me. So make sure you check out that video. And I know Halloween is coming up. Last week I gave you guys some really fun Halloween games, and this week I gave you some really fun Thanksgiving games. So I'm already coming out with the holiday games that y'all can use with your kids. So make sure you guys check out those videos. So you guys have lots to do. You have workshops to sign up for. You have activity guides to download. You have videos to watch. And I pray you guys have a blessed weekend. Stay covered, and I love you guys. Bye.